Welcome back to the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. In this segment, we will continue our conversation with 3 U.S. presidential scholars, and they're here in Taiwan for a very specific purpose. They're here to attend the summer camp. I'm going to ask Brian to tell us a little bit about the camp itself. Brian?
The camp is called the OCAC, the Overseas Compatriot Affairs Commission 2009 camp.
Good.
Basically, we just tour the island and we try to learn more about the culture, more about the people here, and then also try to make friends and learn a bit of Chinese while we're at it, practice Chinese.
Good. But let me ask you though, Brian, how did you learn about the camp? Was it family or friends or is people who've been on the camp before?
Yes, my mom, actually my aunt first told my mom about it, and my mom told me about it.
Okay.
But there was also an OCAC commissioner in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And
that's
he contacted
close to
us.
home. Yes.
And that's close to us in West Virginia. So
Good.
he actually contacted us, and we actually had like a dinner together, and so we found out about that way.
Good. And Faye, we learned from the previous discussion that this is not your first trip to Taiwan, by no means. You come back here maybe once every other year.
Right.
So before you took the tour this year, what was your original anticipation? What did you expect that you would get out of the tour?
I wasn't quite sure what to expect of the tour, just because this is actually only the second year that it's been. It was begun last year.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see parts of the country that I hadn't seen before, and I've definitely seen that.
Were you able to do that?
Right.
Yeah, okay, good. And now that the tour is almost over, did you think that the trip itself overall had pretty much met your expectations and even beyond that?
Right. I'm definitely very happy that I came on this trip, but I'm also excited to see how it continues to grow in the future.
Okay, and also how does the impression that you pick up on this trip this time different from earlier impressions that you might have about Taiwan?
So it's interesting because on this trip I've seen places in Taiwan that my parents have never been.
Really? For example?
For example, Tairuga National Park.
Good. That's beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and more of the rural areas, because when I come back to Taiwan, I usually
stay in the city.
Right, in Taipei or Tainan, maybe Kaohsiung.
Okay.
But we mainly take a bus around the island, and so we see every part of the island, not just the major cities.
Okay. And how about you, Kevin?
Well, what I mostly expected was basically landmark hopping.
Okay.
And going to Taipei 101, maybe going to some temples, but
you've been to most of them before, right?
Right. And but on this trip, we actually saw more people than buildings.
All right.
In
addition to other participants from 13 different countries.
Right.
Okay.
We went to a traditional tofu shop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
And we actually learned how to make tofu there. And we went to a traditional tea factory.
Okay.
And we went to a traditional paper factory, actually.
And how about any other interesting experience that you're able to pick up on this trip so far?
Just
any of you?
Meeting all of the different people and seeing how we are different because we grew up in different countries, but also similar because of our Taiwanese background.
Okay, good. And Brian?
I just was amazed by all the scenery. The sun moon lake was really beautiful that we saw.
Okay.
Never seen anything like it.
But I suppose when you were growing up in the States, you might have gone to other summer camps before, right? Have you?
Yeah, I stayed in a log cabin once.
Okay, all right. How about you, Faye?
I did a couple of academic camps, but nothing very nature-based.
Okay. And Brian?
Yeah, I haven't stayed in a log cabin, but I've
been to other summer camps. Yeah. How does this one compare with others that you've been on, other than the fact that, of course, this was in Taiwan, the others maybe in the States?
Yeah.
In addition to what you have already mentioned.
This one is by far the best camp I've ever been on. They treat us so much better. The food is the best ever.
Okay. Well, since you're talking about food, this is also supposedly a journey of taste for all of you, right? You travel throughout the island. You tasted different kinds of cuisines and different kinds of foods around the island. what was your impression of the different foods that you've been exposed to, and what was your favorite, Faye?
My favorite, well, there was one place that we went to which was entirely vegetarian and organic, and everything was very fresh. I've never been anywhere like that before, and I thought it was a great experience for everybody.
Okay, and I'm going to hold you until the end. Brian?
All of it's good, but my favorite, I have to say, was the tofu when we made it, because it's so fresh and it's
But something more original. Kevin already mentioned tofu.
Let's see. I don't know. I guess when we go in the Siling Yesu and just walk down the street, everything looks so good, so you just have to buy and try everything. So fried shrimp.
Okay, but before you came on this trip, did your parents or family, told you, hey, there's a particular kind of food you must try? Did you?
Try everything, basically.
Okay, good. Well, Kevin, I'm going to hold you until the end because before the taping started, I asked you, you already told me what your favorite food is. Okay. But I wanted, you tell the viewers at home, what's your experiencing food this time, and what's your favorite?
Well, I love seafood, and my mom told me to try everything.
Okay.
So I think the best thing I've had so far is actually fried soft-shell crab.
Okay.
It was just
Yummy.
delicious. It was awesome.
Okay, and so you also mentioned about tofu. Did you like tofu before it came on the trip?
Oh, yeah. My mom cooks it all the time.
Okay.
So
you're going to like it even more.
Right.
Okay. And, any two of you want to, add additional experiences with food on this trip?
I don't know if it counts as food, but what was interesting was on this trip we watched the movie Cape Number 7.
Yes.
And in the movie they have the wine malasan,
yes.
and we were able to try a little bit of that. So
but you guys are all underage.
Just a sip.
We don't have an age limit here in Taiwan. It's okay. But let me ask you though. I mean, you've been to other well-known places in Taiwan on this trip as well. Faye mentioned about Taiwan. And how about the two of you? Kevin, any places? You mentioned about Taipei 101, but I suppose you've been there before.
Oh, I've been there before. I think we're going on Friday.
Friday?
We're going on Friday.
Okay. But I want to see if you got any other interesting places that's memorable, not counting nightclubs that you've been to. Go ahead. Either one of you, Brian or Kevin?
Well, I think yesterday we went to the Siling night market.
Okay.
And basically we just walked around and ate everything that we saw.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
All right. And?
I thought that we went to an eco-village, which was very environmentally friendly. I thought it was really nice too.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would say that from the foods that you taste, that you can tell a lot about the people, about the culture. Did you find that to be the case in Taiwan, Faye?
Definitely. I think every different place that we went to, it all reflected a bit where we were. Mm-hmm. All the foods were very fresh, and they were great.
Yes. And Brian?
Yeah, I thought it really did reflect the people that lived there. Like when we were near the ocean and you got seafood at a restaurant, it was so fresh. It was just well done.
Okay. And Kevin?
I remember Faye was talking about the organic and vegetarian meal, and I thought that just reflected their goal of just being environmentally friendly and completely carbon-free.
Yeah, but for the three of you coming from states, of course, you're no stranger to the importance of environmental protection and also eating healthy, organic food and all that. But were you surprised that when you came to Taiwan, that, Taiwan, of course, by no means not backward, okay? Mm-hmm. But did you think that people here will be so environmentally conscious, especially the younger generation also, paying attention to what they eat? And although you see a lot of American fast food chains in Taiwan, but the recent problems they have with frying oil certainly had put a damper on their business. So in the sense that people, especially the younger generations, are also paying attention to the kinds of foods they eat and how healthy they are and things. And did you find that to be surprising? Or any of you?
I thought it was a bit surprising how it was so eco-friendly, but I guess our tour kind of tries to show the progression of Taiwan too. Mm-hmm. but it is kind of all the rage right now to be green with everything. So it was good to see that people were trying harder.
Yeah, and when you go back, which will be sometime in August, that you're going to be meeting friends and family. What would you tell them about the things you've seen in Taiwan? What kind of foods would you recommend to them that, hey, next time when you go to Taiwan, you must have this? Faye?
I've actually already sent out emails to a lot of my friends just telling them about the trip and saying how beautiful everything is. And
what did you say in the email?
I told them a lot about Taroko National Park and just how the mountains are so beautiful. They remind me of the cover on the book Cold Mountain.
Okay.
And I just tell all of them, I wish you could be here with me to see it.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay. How about you, Kevin?
I would say just go to the beaches because they looked incredible on our trip. And just eat as much seafood as you can because it's the best here.
Okay. And Brian?
I also said it was beautiful too. I caught a picture of a rainbow while we were on the bus, and it looks like something out of like a professional photography or something, which I am not.
Okay.
So I just told everybody how beautiful it is. The best food that they could have is I don't know, get some stuff that's homemade, tofu, anything from the street markets.
Thank you. And from our conversation so far, these three, people, special guests in our program today, really the product of two cultures, one in Taiwan and one in the U.S. And when we come back to the Taiwan Outlook, we will continue this conversation with them. And we're going to ask them their experiences in their meetings and exchanges with local young people in Taiwan. We'll be back shortly.